Hey guys, Matt, Irontrap Garage, working on the free T again. Last video was a big step for me personally. We got the doors, plural, doors that I made from scratch, hooked up to the almost 100-year-old Model T hinges, and we have doors that open. This is really exciting. I was kind of talking about in the last episode how much work it took, but it was totally worth it. And now what we need to do is work on getting the original door latches and strikers hooked back up so we can get these doors that I made to hinge and latch on the car, so we can kind of wrap up this whole entire door project, which is going to probably span about 3 videos at this point. So what I have here is I have the original, one of the original doors that's all this fiberglass mess. You can see this is some of the reason that we were replacing these doors on top of restyling them. That was one of the reasons, is that mess there, and more wood falling out. But what I want to show you guys is how these doors were originally built as far as bracing goes. So they had some wood that was built in them with a crossbar. I'm sort of simulating that process. We've already put a piece of box tubing here on this side that we were able to drill and tap into for that original hinge. Worked out really well. I think what I'm going to do on this side is do a similar type deal, run some box tubing in the vertical section, in the upright, to get that in there so that we can have something to spot weld to and also drill and tap to if we need. But what we need to do is I want to reuse these original latches. I just like mixing the custom-made parts with the original parts so that when somebody glances at this car when they first walk by it, if you don't know them, you'd probably think that a lot of this stuff is stock aside from some of the really obvious custom work. So I want to reuse these latches. They work really well. They actually latched nicely and they were pretty darn secure. So I think by using these and then maybe adding a safety latch near the bottom of the door in the middle, just for extra precaution, these should work just fine. But what I need to do is kind of offset these hinges, these latches. The latches are mounted in this piece of wood that's kind of router to sink it in. So I need to build kind of the same kind of deal here, a standoff section to hold the hinge. And then what I can do is cut out into our sheet metal this little recess here so we can sink it into the door so it's basically flush. So I'm going to work on getting some box tubing cut and then work on, I'm hopefully going to make something out of sheet metal here that we can bend up and hold this latch in place, but I just need to do some kind of trial and error and paper patterning to kind of figure out what's going to work. And hopefully we get this door latching here by the end of the episode, and I will be really stoked if I can get that going on both of these doors. So let's get started. Okay, what you saw in the last shots were me cutting away the edge of the door here, the flange, so that I could basically get it to fit around this, this catch. that's mounted to the A-pillar section of the body. So I cut a relief, kind of just cut an access cut in here, and I just kept getting larger and larger until I was able to slip everything over, and I got the door to slip over just like this. Then I had to actually cut it a little larger so that I could take this latch and actually slide the latch in, and let's get this to sit in there. So I got the latch to latch like that, it's all nice and tight. Then we can tap the door into its spot so everything kind of feels about right. And that's going to tell us our exact location of where we need that latch to land. So because I left the flange on both sides here, what I can do is actually center punch the two holes that are on the front of the hinge here into this flange, and I can either run a sheet metal screw, a Cleco, or I can run a bolt through there that's going to allow me to keep that mounted exactly where I need it, and then I can kind of build my structure around it that's going to actually hold the latch, and also the upright support here that's going to brace the door and also kind of brace this latch as well. But I really need to build something that's going to keep the latch from doing this. So I need to keep it tight against the flange like that, and then I also need to, kind of keep something from behind and also up and down so that when you latch this door, you can actually shut it and it's not going to be fragile. It's not going to bend the door skin every time that you try and latch it. So I'll get these holes marked, get this fit up, and then I'm going to try and figure out how exactly I'm going to get this structure built around it that kind of looks cool and also functions well. Okay guys, so we got the latch and I had it screwed in, cut my piece of box tubing about the same length as the piece on the other side, and get that fit up, tight up against the crossbar that we have in the top here for the armrest. That's all pretty good. You saw me earlier drill and tap and get this mounted to the flange. We are going to be getting rid of some of this flange here, but what I'm keeping it for is so that I can use it for locating this box tubing and to locate all this before I actually cut everything away. So now that I have the box tubing drilled and tapped and threaded into the door, what I did was kind of held the latch up, and what we have is on the back side of the latch, the actual latch assembly sticks out from the plate, the mounting plate, just a little bit. So what I need to do is cut a recess to basically allow this piece of the latch to sink down into the box tubing, so that it can fit down in there where it needs to, and then we can run the screws through this latch and into the box tubing. So what I did is I drew a little line here around the outside where I roughly need to cut. I'm going to take the plasma cutter and just buzz that around with the plasma cutter. That will open up that hole there, put a big notch in it, and then we're going to slowly trim it away until we can sit this down inside and get it to fit and mount securely, and then we should be kind of moving along pretty good. My idea from here, and we'll see how it works, and kind of winging it like I do all my stuff. From here, what I'm thinking is I can then run another piece of tubing like this tubing I have here on the front and back across the brace side to side, or front to back rather. I can run that side to side behind the latch, and hopefully I can use that for mounting tabs, and also I can recess that a little bit so that it sits tight up against this plate as well, and everything will jive pretty good. But we'll see how everything fits up, but that's my initial thought. Things don't always work as planned, but that's what I'm hoping will work for me. So I'm going to get this cut out here, fit back in, hopefully get this latch fit up, and then we can try and run the bolts through it and get it mounted with the box tubing. We'll be moving pretty good and be hopefully on the home stretch. so got the door latch all fit up. It latches very nicely. Now I didn't weld anything up yet. I kind of realized as I was about to get the welder out that I need to blow this all apart and spray some primer inside the doors, because when I put this bracing back in and spot weld it in, I'm not going to be able to get behind it to actually seal everything up. So this is where I'm going to end the video for tonight. This is the big thing I want to show you guys. Model T doors don't shut like this normally. You hear that? Super solid. I'm really excited because this door has a nice heavy feel to it. It opens and shuts really nicely, and that's pretty exciting for me. So I'm going to work on getting the other side kind of the same point, and then I can start building the rest of the bracing around the bottom of the door and a crossbar across the center, and that'll further brace everything up and get us going pretty good. So that's all I have for this one. I appreciate you guys following along and watching. We do videos on Tuesday on the Free T. Fridays we do videos on Sweetheart Roadster, swap meets, car shows, whatever else is going on. And then Sundays we've been adding in videos of Andrew's first hot rod project. He's starting school again, so things may slow down a little bit with that, but I'm going to try and keep on his butt to keep him working on that, so hopefully we can have something that kind of looks like a car by next year. So thanks guys, appreciate it, catch you later.